The kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300. The Zone. In the next segment, we'll talk Texas basketball. They get the win last night. Right now, we're going to talk to our guy, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. You can follow at Joseph Cook 89. And Joe, a lot has happened. A lot has happened on the 40 acres in the last couple of days. Obviously, the news coming out that Pete Kwiatkowski and Dwayne Aquina were being replaced by Will Muschamp. Coach Sark having the media availability that was kind of out of the blue for us. I don't know if you was expecting it, but I know I was not expecting it. And then, of course, the news coming out yesterday that Malik Mohammed will now enter the NFL draft. Catch us up on what your thoughts are on all the comings and goings on the 40 acres.
Yeah, with Will Muschamp, that was a very kind of surprising thing, I think, for pretty much everybody. Texas got out in front of it, and we were right there, right behind him, because it was one of those things where you catch wind of it and you're scrambling, and Texas sends out the email. So, that was obviously very surprising because not very many people probably thought like the defense was what Steve Sarkisian was going to address. It's kind of become pretty clear, unless Sark has a change of heart, he doesn't want to give up play calling duties. So if you look at that and you look at that decision, it's like, okay, how do you make things easier for him? You're the head coach, you're the play caller, and you are the personnel guy. He has a titular general manager in Brandon Harris, but Sark has said over and over that the final personnel calls usually are his to make. Okay, so how do you take something off of your plate a little bit? Well, with Pete Kwiatkowski, that's the defensive coordinator who obviously very accomplished and extremely good at what he does. I don't want that to get lost. But he was a defensive coordinator who often needed a little bit of he needed help from his lieutenants. And I don't say that as a bad thing. I think anybody who's advanced to, football, advanced in whatever, gets on with a little bit of help along the way. But that help required some attention from Steve Sarkisian. It required attention from, the other coaches that he brought in. And when you're Sark, when you have to be the head coach of the team, which he is, when you have to be the head coach of the offense and you have to be the general manager, that's being pulled in a lot of different directions. And so the first move that he made was to bring someone in Will Muschamp, who he's like, all right, Will, go do it. See you Saturday. And there's going to be more than that, obviously, but right. He knows that without much oversight needed from him, except for like the final yes, Will Muschamp can take care of everything on that side of the ball. He's someone who, has assistant coaches and things like that, but Muschamp knows defense. And PK did too, but Muschamp can do everything. And I think we've kind of learned that PK, for as accomplished as he was someone who had his specialties and needed some, people to lean on. And when those people he leaned on weren't able to hold him up, everything kind of fell apart. And that doesn't mean it all collapsed. It just meant that, the product wasn't as good as possible. Still nothing's happened on the offensive side except, Sark pushed back and said, well, I got a new running back coach. So Jabbar Jalouk is in, someone who another SEC coaching veteran, someone who has, basically if you've been on I-10 or I-20, Jabbar Jalouk's probably been there during the course of his career, and that's very valuable. Bring some, a little bit of attitude, I think, to that room, and we'll see what else might happen on offense. And then, like you mentioned, Malik Muhammad, this is one we've been expecting. I think from the day Malik showed up at Texas, he always thought he was a 3-and-out player, but you have to earn that, and he earned that. I think he had a really strong career, and he's going to be someone who I think NFL teams really, they'll look and see like, oh, he won an All-American, and oh, he won the All-Conference, but he was really good. He's got skills, he's got traits, and I bet he's going to be drafted. Probably, I don't know. I bet he could hear his name called in day 2, but we'll see. I'm excited for him.